what do you do if you're polarized in the same direction? Like, I don't know if you have a piece here, but like if a woman is really in her masculine, it's kind of like what you were tending towards, and maybe the man is in his feminine, or they're both vying for that number one spot, because that's a thing that can happen too.
Yeah.
I find in my own relationship, if I'm not very clear on where we're going, what we're doing, and what's happening, then it comes up in Hannah where she's like, okay, I got to take the reins here because I'm not clear.
Right.
Like I'm not leading the ship in a good way, so she feels like she has to take up space there. Yeah. What do we do when we're not in harmony, as in terms of the polarization?
Yeah. I think it comes up in my relationship because my wife Diana she's very feminine, but she's got a masculine side. She has 2 businesses that she runs, small businesses, and she gets stuff done. And so I can feel sometimes that bleeds into areas that, where she's asserting herself, and I don't like it, and it doesn't feel necessary. and so I try to not take it personally, because on some level I'm like, oh, she doesn't trust me. Like, I'm experiencing it as though she's not surrendered to me. She's not trusting me. I don't like that. Why isn't she, sort of following my lead here? But in fact, it's just habitual. Or like, for instance, she got in a car accident when she was 4 years old, a very traumatic car accident. So she's nervous in the car, which is extremely annoying for me. It's just like, relax, I got it. I've never been in an accident. Don't worry about it. But I have to remember, oh no, I don't take this personally. This is from her history. This actually doesn't have really anything to do with the polarity. This is just like her issues. So to separate those things and have a conversation about it. And because listen, for women for a man to step all the way into their leadership, it's not an easy thing to do. And you have to know yourself, and you have to claim some authority, and you have to take full responsibility. That's a lot, and it takes practice. But also for the woman, surrendering, letting go, that's not an easy thing to do. That takes a lot of fucking courage. I'm just going to follow. I'm just going to trust fully this man. This guy, and we all have our shit. And so
we all have our stories, and there's plenty of stories about men in their experience that are, Exactly. So I don't blame either side for not being perfect in it. But yeah, I think it's just a conversation. I mean, getting on the same page about what the expectations are. And the one thing that I always talk about is I'm a big believer in healthy conflict. I'm not somebody who avoids conflict. Like I think that all the fights that Diana and I have are useful in the sense that we come up against something, some edge, some resistance, some fear, some pain, and it comes out. And sometimes it's messy, and sometimes we hurt each other's feelings, or the voices are raised, and we're grumpy around the house for a day or two. And I give that a lot of grace, especially because we've gotten so good at we trust each other there, and I think there's a lot of trust that we're going to come back into connection, and we're each going to take responsibility for our piece in it, and then figure out what the fuck is actually going on, because we know the fight is not about what it's about something else, and it may take a day or two and some hurt feelings to actually get there. And so to just trust in that, don't pathologize every fight you have. Like, you're supposed to be getting along and everything's sunshine and rainbows 24/7. That expectation is completely unrealistic. Yeah, almost approaching it as a framework to find the usefulness in the disagreement or in the energy that's there.
Exactly.
Yeah, making it useful. And, there's another part for me that I think is helpful, which is tracking. It's like, man, if your partner's going to get nervous getting in the car, that's a good time to have that out in front and lead with that awareness.
That's right.
And so setting ourselves up for success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've just recently come to terms with the fact that, I can be pretty, not perfectly, but like there's certain things I'm pretty diligent about, a little rigid, let's say, and she's less so. And sometimes a little spacey. She's an artist, and it used to frustrate the hell out of me. And now I'm like, okay, this is who she is. This is how it is. And I anticipate it now. And it shifted something. I actually allow myself to, I don't know, almost enjoy it. And that's how I get out ahead of things. But just like, okay.
You are obsessed with this analysis and looking at what it all means.
Yes, I am.
It must be expressed in all your relationships in some way.
Yeah, it's. I have to actually tone it down. I mean, because I can geek out with my fellow therapists, but not everybody's as interested in it as me. But yeah, it's always like, it's a puzzle to be solved every time, and the psyche is so incredibly complex, and there's always layer after layer after layer, and so to try to get to the root of it and understand it, for whatever reason, yeah, I'm fascinated with it.
Yeah.